You guys won't believe this one, man. I always say, real life is better than fiction. A stripper by the name of Vanessa Inman back in 1996 was disqualified from Miss Nude International pageant that was being put on by the Pink Pony. John Gallardi is the owner of the Pink Pony. They kicked her out of the contest. And as a result of that, she sued and she won a whack of cash. And I'm going to detail exactly why the jury awarded her that whack of cash, and I'm going to let you know how much cash she was awarded. So listen to these facts and tell me, if you were on this jury, how much would you have awarded Vanessa? So this was a week-long Miss Nude International pageant. HBO was filming it, which we're going to see is relevant, and We Magazine was going to give the winner a centerfold spread. So Vanessa wasn't going to win money as a result of winning that contest, but she would have got a lot of publicity, and she was a well-known exotic dancer. It came out in the trial that she was managed by an agency. They showed all of her bookings across the country, which showed that she flew around the country as an exotic dancer, and she did quite well for herself. So she sued because she was essentially like, hey, listen, you kicked me out on bogus grounds. Now these other strip clubs might think I'm not a good person. They might think I'm not honest. And as a result, they might not want to hire me. So sued the club for slander, essentially saying, hey, you made a statement that you're purporting to be true, meaning I cheated, and that has cost me money, so I'm suing you. It ended up essentially turning into a workplace harassment lawsuit, but originally that's how it was framed by Vanessa's lawyer, who had a couple cojones on him to take this case forward. I mean, before trial, plaintiff Vanessa and her lawyer offered to settle for $100,000. The strip club and the owner of the strip club offered $8,000. So how much money did they get? Man, I'm telling you, it was a very conservative jury. On the jury, there was 2 engineers, a retired IBM executive, 2 teachers, and a female lawyer. Georgia, where this was, is a very conservative state back in 1996. Maybe it still is, I don't live there. But conservative juries typically don't award a lot of money. So Vanessa got a lot of money. Why? Because the jury, in my opinion, hated the owner, John Gallardi. Why did they hate the owner, John Gallardi? Well, listen to some of these facts. There was 65 contestants. Vanessa was one of those 65 contestants, and at the time she was 29 years old. Part of this week-long contest was that the girls had to strip and the patrons would judge them. Another part of the contest was a 9-hole golf tournament, and the women had to strip on every green and putt nude. And also, at that golf tournament, they were encouraged to run off into the woods and do whatever they wanted with the judges, meaning essentially, hey, go and prostitute yourself. And then the final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, was the owner, John Gallardi, had enough of Vanessa when she refused to line up with the other women, allow John Gallardi to spray the women with whipped cream, and then lick the whipped cream off their bare breasts. I mean, this John Gallardi guy, he's up there as far as Captain Creep goes, right? Just a dirt bag. The other thing was, this contest had rules, and one of those rules was don't insert things into yourself. Yeah, that had to be a rule, right? So a lot of times it's he said, she said. Not in this case. HBO was there filming it. So the jury was shown actual footage of the owner, John Gallardi, encouraging these women to insert objects into themselves against his own rules, and also encouraging the women to run off and prostitute themselves in the woods, and also showing the owner tearing apart Vanessa for not allowing him to lick whipped cream off of her breasts. I mean, that pisses me off. I'm sure it pissed off these jurors, no matter how conservative they were back in 1996. And then the final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, as it relates to Vanessa being kicked out, was it was alleged that she stuffed the ballot box. So what did smart Vanessa do? She pulled out all of the ballots out of the dumpster, and she counted them, and there was an equal amount of ballots to judges and or patrons, and those ballots showed that Vanessa made it through to the finals. So she sued for slander, right? She sued because she said, hey, listen, you guys called me a cheater, I'm not a cheater, and now this could cause me to lose bookings around the country, because she was a very well-known exotic dancer. Her lawyer positioned a couple things really well that I think bode well for her case. The one thing is, he said, hey, listen, there's a difference between a stripper and an exotic dancer. Vanessa doesn't go into the back room and give lap dances. She doesn't go in the back room and prostitute herself. She's classy. He also showed a pamphlet that she created to promote herself for Miss Nude International, and she was fully clothed in it. They also brought forward her manager, Continental Agency, at the time, maybe still is, the biggest agency for the placement of exotic dancers. And it showed she had bookings all over the country. She was very popular. So this allegation that she cheated and was not honest, couldn't be trusted, could very well hurt her career. But as I read the case, what I think happened more was they were just pissed off at John Ghilardi. There's this old cliche with trial lawyers. You want a jury to award someone a lot of money, get them to hate the defendant. And I think from them seeing this video footage of John Ghilardi, the owner, essentially prostituting out these women, and especially there being females on that jury, there's no question they were going to award Vanessa a lot of money, in my opinion. Now that you read them, right, that seems fairly clear, but what's a lot of money? That's always different to everybody else. So this is how it broke down. The jury awarded her $2.5 million, $335,000 for tortious interference of contract, which if she would have won the pageant, she could have had that HBO deal and she could have had the We magazine deal. So that would have been a contract, and they interfered with that by kicking her out of the pageant. She was awarded $500,000 for slander. So that's them saying she's a cheater, that negatively impacting her ability to work as an exotic dancer. $100,000 in attorney's fees, because we know the lawyers need to be paid. But the biggest amount, the lion's share, coming from punitive damages. Punitive damages are solely meant to punish the defendant for their behavior. And that was $1.6 million for a total award of $2.5 million for an exotic dancer getting kicked out of Miss Nude International Pageant. Leave a comment, share the video, hit the subscribe button. I very much appreciate the support. Thank you.